Hello everyone, welcome back. Today I want to show you this really cool ink by Colorverse. It's called Milky Way. And this is really pretty. So I'm going to go ahead and get it out of the box for you. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're not new, welcome back. If you are new, what I've been doing is showing different fountain pen inks and doing little reviews and testing them. I am a complete beginner, so if you are a beginner, this is probably a good place for you just to start out. This box has fancy designs on the inside. It looks like space, like the Milky Way. Inside, it's got more decorations here, there's like little UFOs and stuff, and it also comes with this insert that talks about the three, it's called the top three Colorvent calendar. It's like an advent calendar that they have inks in them. So these are the three colors, and Milky Way is this middle one. So I do not have the other two, which is fine. This is a pretty good size box and bottle. So yep, that's what it looks like on the box. So I'll put that aside. The bottle is really cute. It looks like a droplet. And on the bottom you can see where the shimmers have collected. Just going to shake that up real quick. And of course, like last time, we will go over the previous ink swatches so you can see what I did in the previous videos. And of course we have the different papers here. I've got just, this one is regular copy paper. This is the HP32 paper. It's like it is copy paper as well, but it's a little bit higher quality and it holds up better to the fountain pens. And then of course we got the Tomo River paper, which I'll take out of the package right now. I have it cut down to size so we don't waste as much because it's a little bit more expensive, but it's nice because it shows off the properties of some inks really well. And these are all little specks from before. We don't need to worry about that. Okay, so since this is a shimmery ink, you'll want to shake it each time you use it. If you have a pen and you fill the pen, you'll want to keep the pen angled upright when you store it so that the shimmers don't collect down in the nib. And if it's in the pen, if you have this ink in the pen, then you just kind of shake it each time you want to use it to get the shimmers to disperse. But for each one of these papers that I'm testing this ink on, I'll be shaking it in between each one. So let's get the first one. And the first one I test is this regular old copy paper. And the reason I do normal plain paper like this as well as the other papers is because you might have a notebook that has just regular old paper in it, or maybe all you have laying around is this kind of paper, or you can't get the fancy paper, and you might want to see how this ink performs on the cheaper papers. So that's why I do this, because not everybody has access to the nicer papers. Okay, let's give this another shake. This is a really pretty ink. It's purple, and you'll see how this looks in a second here. Put the cap back on to keep the dust out. Alright, so I'm just going to do some swirls here. It's a really pretty deep purple. And this is just a glass dip pen if you've never seen one of these before. You can get them pretty inexpensive on Amazon. I do have a link below for some pens like this one. I don't remember where I got this exact pen, so it may not look exactly like this, but it'll work the same. You just dip it in the ink and draw. Okay, and then we'll do some of these figure 8 things. And you might already be able to see the ink changing on the paper. I don't know if the camera picks it up. And this is copy paper. There is quite a bit of ink on this pen still, and I do hate to waste ink, so I'm just going to go ahead and lay down some more ink here. This ink is really, really pretty. If you like fun special effects in ink, then you'll probably like this one a lot. It's similar to the one we looked at last time, the Interstellar Bronze. If you haven't seen that video, go back and watch that one. I will be showing the dried ink swatch of that because it did, of course, dry totally fine, and it looks really good. So I want to show you that. So I'm just giving this a second to dry. This ink has very pretty shimmers on it that are a blue color. So you've got this purple ink with a blue shimmer on top. The camera is definitely able to pick that up. And even in the loops at the top, even though those are thinner lines, like there's not as much ink down as, say, down here on the scribbles, it's definitely showing off that pretty sparkle. And at the end, I'll get the light, and we'll see this under the light and see how dramatic that looks. It's very pretty. So I'm going to set that over here, and then we'll go over the other papers. So the next one is the HP32, and we'll see if there's a difference. I'm sure there will be. Probably what I should do is compare them all side by side at the end. I don't remember if I have been doing that or not. Okay, let's slide that under there. And then I'm going to shake this up. That way each test can be as fair as possible. Okay. And I'll go ahead and do just like on the other one. We'll do the loops and some other scribbles. And if there is an ink that you guys want to see, let me know. It's possible that I might have it. Or maybe I can get it and we could test it out together, because sometimes it helps to try an ink or see how it looks before you commit to a large bottle. We'll also draw that circle. I almost forgot. There you go. And I have put this in a fountain pen. I like to put shimmery inks in at least a medium nib, otherwise you don't really see the effect as much, I don't think. I have not tried this in a fine nib, so maybe it works just as well, but in the medium nib you do get the really pretty shimmery effect. So, alright, I'll wash this off while that dries and clean it off. There we go. Here's how that looks. And just like the other one, you can see that really pretty blue shimmer on top of the purple. This is not fully dry yet, and it already looks really good. But we can kind of compare it to the copy paper here. I feel like it's a little more dramatic on this side, but it's not such a noticeable difference. You could totally use this in just a regular old notebook and it will still look awesome. So that's good news if you have only regular paper that you can write on. And here's the Tomo River paper. This is very thin paper, but the ink doesn't bleed through, so I'm gonna shake this bottle again. Make sure there's nothing, no shimmers stuck at the bottom. Alright, dip the pen. Okay, there we go. Alright, and I'll do the swirls again. If you guys enjoy watching this, or if you want to see more, don't forget to hit like and subscribe so I can continue making these videos for you. Some people, like myself, Did not realize you could get fountain pen ink in these beautiful colors and effects. The only fountain pens I had before just had normal black or blue ink, and I didn't see the point of having a fancy pen with, you know, boring. I can't write and talk at the same time. Anyways, I didn't see the point of having a fancy pen that just had black or blue ink, because I could just get a ballpoint pen, and I never had any trouble with those. Although I will admit that on a fountain pen, even if it is just the black or blue, you know, business style ink, the writing experience with it is better than a ballpoint pen usually. So there is something to be said for that. So if that's something that's important to you, even if you only get one color of ink and it's just like a black or a blue ink, you will still enjoy the whole experience. But you know, I couldn't really justify spending a lot of time for that. But seeing this, put this stuff away here. Anyways, seeing all these pretty, beautiful inks and all the cool effects that they have, and I've got some really neat ones still to show you. Like, this isn't even scratching the surface, but anyway, this is what really got me into it, because I thought, oh, how fun it would be to fill out a journal and write with all these fancy colors and see the neat effects, and you could do a different color on each page or whatever. So anyway, now I can't pick up the paper. There we go. All right, well, let's see how this looks. And again, it's probably not fully dry yet, but you can see even on here on this side, the blue shimmers coming through. Pull it up a little closer. This is really pretty here. It's almost iridescent. And the loops at the top are shimmery. So we can compare that to the HP 32 paper. You can see how it's very pretty no matter what paper you use for this particular ink. There might be slight improvement in one or the other, but it's not so dramatic that you can't just use whatever paper you have on hand. You'll still get this really nice effect. And then here is the copy paper. So the copy paper is on the far right. It does look like these two on the left here, the shimmers show up a little bit better, but this plain copy paper, it still looks really good. I don't know if I can get this close enough for you to see it. This is still totally usable just on plain paper, and you'll still get these really pretty effects. So this is a really good one for any purpose. It's going to look great no matter what. So let me go ahead and set those aside, and we'll look at the little swatch cards. So last video, we tested out Birmingham Pen Company's Interstellar Bronze, and remember how this was taking a little bit of time to dry because I put so much ink down, but look at that, it's like metallic. And that's even what the writing looks like. Oh, that's right, we gotta get the light. My lighting in here isn't the best, so let's try that again. There we go. See the writing, how it picks up the light? And then that drop, that ink drop, of course, is just, it looks like foil, but it's not foil, it's just ink. So anyways, we're going to do another one of these cards, of course, for our new ink today. You come in these little packs. There we go. So here's what it looks like before we put any ink down. And just like before, I'm going to, of course, shake the bottle after I make sure the cap is on. See, all the shimmers sink to the bottom if you don't. All right, and then the pen I'm going to use for this, this is a plastic protective covering here. It comes off, but I'm not going to use this end. I'm using this end. I don't know if you can see how that looks. It's like a little flat circular disc shape. And the reason I use this is because it picks up a good amount of ink for us to smudge on the page. But it's not as wasteful as like a Q-tip or something, because the Q-tips seem to like soak up the ink. This doesn't soak it up, it's just glass. So it's not soaking it up, it's actually going to use and lay down all the ink that it picks up. Minus whatever I would decide to wash off, but for the most part it's going to lay down all that ink. Okay, so let's get that down. Oops. There we go. You can see most of that ink is used up. And I'll just rinse this off. But yeah, it seems to use less ink than a Q-tip does, so that's why I use that. And then I just have to shake it one more time. I want to make sure that the sparkles are still dispersed so we can write the name on the card. This is Milky Way. Colorverse. And I'll just, oh, this was from, let's see, I think it gave the year of the calendar. 2024's calendar. So this is from 2024. And they give a special name. I know it's an advent calendar, but they call it something else. Colorvent. That's it. Okay, I'll go ahead and unfortunately have to wash all that ink off. But the reason I don't write with the pointed end of this is because the tips on these break off so easy. I used it a couple of times and it broke, so I tried to file it down because it was cutting the paper, and it writes now, but it's just not a pleasant experience. So I just don't use that other end. I might try it again later, file it down some more and see, but anyways, I'm not sure if you can see what's happening on camera here, but the shimmers are starting to come out and show on the top here. They're already showing on the writing, but on the drop, like right there and up here, the shimmers are really starting to show nicely. And then on the writing, let me get some light on this here. There, see that? It's really pretty. I have to hold this at an angle so it catches the light because of how I'm holding the light. And then look at the writing. It's so pretty. And again, because I put so much ink down, I like to give these a few minutes extra to dry. So I'll set this aside. We could check it again in the next video as well. You can check out the other videos I did on my ink reviews to see the other color swatches that we made. But yep, this is it. Milky Way Colorverse. So yeah, check out this or other colors. And if, like I said, if you have any suggestions on any other colors by any other brands that you'd like to see, let me know. If I have it, we can swatch it and do a review. Otherwise, I will catch you on the next video. You have a great day. Thanks for watching.